What's going on, everybody? It's Royalty Crypto here and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a bit different than the videos that I typically do on this channel, and I basically just wanted to come on here, guys, and be like a crypto therapist for everybody, because today we are continuing to tank for the crypto market, and I am well aware that a lot of people are very worried that we're going into a bear market. So I just basically want to talk to you guys about some fundamental data that I believe will shape these markets in the next couple of weeks. And you guys know that I talk about this data quite often, but I do believe that in days like today, it is very important for you guys to remember this data and think about this, because for me, guys, obviously seeing these prices tank is not a comfortable feeling, to say the least. But at the end of the day, guys, I just know deep down that the setup for 2026 is undeniably bullish. Like, it's not even just my opinion, it's based on data. But guys, as you can see, we are currently sitting at a 15 out of 100 on the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. And I guarantee when this updates in about 2.5 hours, we'll probably be down to a 12, which is a new yearly low on the Fear and Greed Index. So I want you guys to think about this for a minute. Do you guys reasonably think that there is more for the market to be worried about right now than there was back when we were having the tariffs introduced into the market? Like, genuinely, what do you guys think? Do you think that there is? Because personally, I don't. But let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. But guys, at the end of the day, I am a macro trader and I buy into fear, and I don't believe that there has ever been a better trade setup, at least that I've seen in quite some time in the markets. We have so many bullish macro catalysts coming up in the next 3 to 6 months, and we have so much fear in the market. Now, in my opinion, and whether or not you guys want to believe this is up to you, but I feel like there is a lot of manipulation happening in the space right now. And not just crypto, I think stocks overall as well. I think that there is a lot of incentives for big institutions and whales to shake out the weak retail hands and, get these prices as low as possible before all these insane macro catalysts start to pile up in the next couple of months. I mean, it makes so much sense to me, guys. I mean, like, obviously these people want to be able to buy as cheap as possible so that they can make as much as possible in the next couple of months or even the next year in general. And in my opinion, there just wasn't really a reason for this amount of fear to enter the market today. I mean, yesterday we saw Nvidia beat their earnings by quite a decent margin, which you would think would, show the market that there is much more fuel left in the tank for this AI run. And I know that this AI run is not necessarily linked to crypto directly. However, I do believe that the prices of these assets are correlated to an extent. But nonetheless, guys, we have this fear entering the market today, and there was unemployment data released today, and I did want to briefly talk about that. So as you guys can see here, the September 2025 unemployment report was released today, and it was bullish and it was also bearish at the same time. Now, of course, you guys need to remember that bad news is good news for us and vice versa. So as you guys can see, the report shows that the unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, which was higher than expected, and this is the highest unemployment rate that we've seen since 2021, I believe. So that's the bullish part of this news, because you would think that unemployment clearly going up would make it more likely that Jerome Powell was going to cut rates in December. However, here's the bearish part. The non-farm payrolls actually increased to 119,000. So there was more jobs added than what was expected. However, the unemployment rate was also higher than expected. This is basically telling us two different sides of the story. It's saying that more people don't have jobs, but at the same time, there are more new jobs being created. And as you guys can see, this did slightly affect the overall prediction market for rate cuts. However, it hasn't changed that dramatically. We are currently sitting at a 39% chance of a rate cut and a 61% chance of a pause. So in my opinion, I don't believe that this would have created that much fear, yet we did see more of a sell-off. So the only thing that makes rational sense, in my opinion, is that we are most likely experiencing some sort of manipulation, or retail is just genuinely terrified that these prices are going to go down. But I genuinely believe that people that are scared right now don't fully understand macroeconomics, because when you think about it, guys, and I'm going to show you this tweet here from Lark Davis, shout out to him. These are all incredibly bullish things for risk on assets. Let's go ahead and start at the top here. So President Trump is planning on $2,000 stimulus checks to most Americans. Now, I say most because it's only for people that make less than a certain amount of money. I've seen things saying that it's for people that make less than $100,000 a year. I've seen it for people making less than $120,000 a year. But regardless, it will be for most people. So this will undoubtedly be a liquidity injection straight into the everyday American's pocket. And a lot of these people will most likely use that to buy stocks and crypto, which undoubtedly will drive up the price of these assets. Now, this is similar to what we saw in COVID, just a little bit less dramatic. And if you guys remember, remember when people started getting those stimulus checks in 2021 and late 2020, that is what caused the insane parabolic move for Bitcoin and crypto and the stock market. So will it happen again? I think it will to some degree. Now let's look at this. So Japan is preparing for a $110 billion stimulus package. China is giving a $1.4 trillion stimulus package. The US is issuing $1.9 trillion in treasuries every year. The Fed is about to end quantitative tightening. Canada is starting quantitative easing. The Fed in the US is also likely to start quantitative easing in early 2026. However, it is not confirmed. Global M2 money supply is sitting at record highs, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. There is just so much liquidity that's about to flow into markets, and I just do not believe, with all of this being said, that there is any way that we could possibly go into a bear market in 2026. I mean, guys, it just does not make any sense. However, all of this stuff is kind of setting the stage for a potential bear market in late 2026 or early 2027, but in my opinion, this is going to cause another leg up for both the stock market and the crypto market, and I expect that leg to be incredibly parabolic, like the real bull run that people have been waiting for all of this time. So in my opinion, and of course this is not financial advice, I believe that retail traders that are getting shaken out of this market right now are making a massive mistake, and I believe that these people will also FOMO back in once these prices start to recover. I think another reason why people are so afraid in the crypto market in particular is people are so dead set on the 4-year halving cycle, which quite frankly makes no logical sense at this point, outside of the fact that so many people think that it is happening and that it's making them scared and that they're panic selling their assets. I also think that big institutions and whales are playing into this narrative a bit and using it to manipulate the market in the short term so that they can accumulate heavily under $100,000. I think that that is a very real possibility. Nonetheless, guys, I think once people start to realize that the 4-year halving cycle is going to be invalidated, I again think that that will be yet another catalyst that causes retail to FOMO back into this market. So guys, with all of that being said, and I know that I've talked about this many times in my old videos and even in my video from yesterday, but I think that it is very important to remind yourself of all of this information, especially if you're feeling scared today. Like if you're even thinking about hitting that sell button because you think to know that the crypto market is going to continue to go down, I hate to say this, but you don't know. Like that is not a certainty. We could be at the bottom right now. I mean, we're seeing peak fear, which is typically an indicator that we're either at the bottom or very close. So you can't just say, oh, you know what, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and sell my entire crypto portfolio and just come back in a month because prices will undoubtedly be down more, because that's just not the case. Like nobody knows where the real bottom is in the short term. Even the best technical analysts on YouTube are wrong basically 50% of the time. And that's why I don't waste your guys' time talking about TA very often. I think it's much more important to look at the macro over technical analysis any day of the week, especially in times like this. Because quite frankly, guys, if you're looking at TA, there are charts saying that Bitcoin is going into a bear market, but I just fully disagree with that. I really do. I guess it depends on what your classification is for a bear market at the same time. Like if you think a bear market is Bitcoin dropping down to 75,000 and then recovering sharply in January or February, okay, yeah, maybe we are going into a bear market. But if you guys think a bear market is like a year and a half of just terrible price action where we're just going straight down the entire time and Bitcoin gets to like 20 to 25K, then no, absolutely not. I don't think that we are going into that type of bear market whatsoever. So yeah, at the end of the day, guys, I think that it's best to be buying into this fear, and that's personally what I'm doing. I'm just doing a dollar cost average strategy right now where I'm buying every single day that we remain in fear, especially extreme fear. And I plan on doing that as long as we stay down here. And say we do go into a bear market, it's not the end of the world in my opinion. If we drop down to $75,000 for Bitcoin and, you know, Ethereum drops to 2,500, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've been there many times and most of you have as well if you've been in this crypto market for even 8 months. So yeah, I don't know. I think that this will end up paying off quite nicely for me. But guys, this is an investment at the end of the day, and you need to have a time horizon of more than 1 month. You can't be like, oh, you know what, I'm going to put my rent's money on this and hopefully I can redeem it in 2 weeks so I can pay my rent and be up money. Like it doesn't work like that, guys. That's just gambling at the end of the day. So short-term price action, anything can happen. And you guys need to remember that. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I know that today has been a very frustrating day. This month has been a very frustrating month. And I mean, if you really think about it, this year has been a very frustrating year because a lot of you, including myself, did expect a parabolic bull run at some point this year. However, there were so many things that, you know, we did not anticipate happening. None of us anticipated tariffs coming into the market. unfortunate. None of us expected it to take this long for quantitative easing to start and for the business cycle in the US to officially flip to expansion. I mean, this business cycle has been delayed, and that's why we've seen so much bearish price action. But yeah, guys, before I keep rambling on for like an hour, it is what it is. And you just need to be able to handle these bearish times, especially if you want to be able to experience the parabolic pumps. Because we always recover. The sentiment never lasts forever. We don't just drop 24/7 for years. It just doesn't work like that. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions for me or any opinions or anything, please drop them in the comment section. And if you just need someone to talk to, feel free to drop a comment and I will do my absolute best to come for you. But yeah, guys, have a fantastic night and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.